Hey, your friendly neighborhood geek here, doing another brief little story time video. I can't remember. I think I talked about my experience at Outback Steakhouse. Not Outback Steakhouse. Oh wait, yeah, it was Outback. I'm getting it mixed up with Longhorn. Yeah, with Outback Steakhouse. Um, so if you all have been keeping up with my personal life or whatever, um, yeah, I've been struggling to find employment for a while. Recently, I've put in some applications for Walmart and a couple other places. Currently, I'm looking into the military. I'm looking into joining the Air Force. So, of course, with that, that means my content and all that stuff will kind of be put on hold. But I'll probably save all that for a future video. It's just something I'm looking into at the moment. But I will probably give an update on that situation a little later. So, like I said, I just kind of want to talk about my experience with Outback. Of course, this can go for any job, not just nothing against people who work in restaurants or work with food. Me personally, I learned that that environment isn't really for me. Um, so I applied for a food runner. That's the people who bring the food or maybe bring out like the bread or maybe drinks to um, the customers. Um, I originally applied for a busser because I was like, okay, I'm cleaning, I'm bussing tables, vice versa. That's something I could do. That maybe that wouldn't be too overwhelming. Um, so when I got to the restaurant, they weren't even notified that I had an interview. So that was kind of red flaggish. The person who interviewed me, he was cool. I think he wasn't this. I don't think he was the main manager. He maybe was one of the managers or whatever. And he wanted to convince me into being a food runner because that's what they really needed. I was like, I asked him what do they do, et cetera, et cetera. He explained it to me. I was like, like it had been a long time since I was employed. I was like, all right, this is the first interview I've had in a while. I'll give it a shot. So I did. So I think I came in the next day. Um, I got there around 4, left around 10, like 4:30, left around 10:30. Um, it like I said, it wasn't for me. Like I felt out of place. It was too fast paced. They wanted me to like learn the tables, like where all the tables were in like 2 days. That wasn't realistic for me personally. I mean, for the most part, the staff was, friendly and worked with me. They understood that I was new and all that stuff. So, like I said, the night itself, but like I said, I was like, all right, I'm here. I want to get paid for the work I've done. I'm gonna go ahead and stay the whole time, which I did. Some people would have just maybe just left in the middle of the shift or whatever, but no, I decided to stay the whole time. Um, so the issue wasn't necessarily the experience. The issue was more so um, I didn't get paid in a reasonable amount of time. So basically, my hours weren't put in for the time I worked. I can maybe for like a month, I continuously called them, and they told me, oh, you'll get it in such and such week. You'll get it this week if you worked on such and such day for such and such hours, then you should receive your money um, at this date. Never happened. Didn't know why. And I called one day, and the person who interviewed me answered the phone. Of course, they didn't remember me, which I'm not surprised. I only worked one day, and they told me that they told me maybe I can call corporate and ask for assistance. I called corporate. The lady I talked to told me, from what it looks like, your hours weren't put in. Of course I was mad, but I didn't express that on the phone. Well, I explained to her what happened and what I kind of went through, but of course I didn't go off on the lady. It wasn't her fault. So, but on the inside, I was like mad. I'm like, wow, all this time I had been calling them, inquiring about my money and paycheck and all that stuff, and the hours are never put in. So, like, if I knew that from the very beginning, I would have known how to handle the situation. Um, so, like I said, it was just super duper. That was just really unprofessional and unorganized, and it kind of made me like, yeah, like I probably will never eat here. Like I have no right reason to ever come back to this restaurant just because of that experience alone. Like, yeah, I'll take my money elsewhere and eat somewhere else. um, so finally, I they the restaurant received my check. They were supposed to mail it, never mailed it. I finally just went back to the restaurant, and luckily I was able to get it. And I think I made like $40, which may not sound like a lot, but hey, that's money I can put in my pocket. I could buy toiletries, food, etc. Just have some extra money in my pocket to hold me over. So it was like it was worth it, but like I said, it just the experience as a whole, it was just okay. Like I said, me personally, restaurant, that's not the type of job for me. It might be the type of job for someone else, but not for me. Um, but yeah, I think that's kind of it. Like I said, kind of a short story time. Like I said, the being a food runner, I mean, like the plates were hot, and like I needed gloves, and I mean, we didn't have any breaks at all. And they explained to me why. And I remember when I shared this with my dad, who's worked in the food industry before, he was like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound right. I mean, of course, companies could have new policies and stuff, but he was like, no, that doesn't sound right. You can't not have your employees not have a break. So like I said, no, really no lunch break. You were able to eat as much bread as you wanted and drink as many drinks as you wanted. Cool, but still, I would like to have had a break. Like the only break you guys if you went to the bathroom. And maybe the food they had left over at the end of the night, maybe you could take that home. But yeah. So like I said, I didn't like it. I rather work at someone's grocery store, someone's warehouse. You know, I before working at a restaurant. So like I said, it wasn't a good experience for me personally. But that's not to turn anybody off who may want to work in that line of work, or is interested in working at Outback. Just my advice: just know what you're getting yourself into beforehand. Research before you decide to apply at certain places, or see if you can find YouTube videos on it to get an idea of what to expect. Um, so yeah, but like I said, that's it for the story time. Um, my crappy experience working at Outback, that was back in March. So yeah. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Peace, you guys.